Alright, today I'm going to be testing the SSRTGI filter that you can find in the Nvidia GeForce Experience in-game overlay. I'm going to show you what the performance is like and the visual difference between not using the filter and just the vanilla version of the game with no filter. So first things first, here are the settings. We are running at max settings. As you can see, we're at hyper settings, which is above ultra for everything. 3840 by 2160 resolution. And yeah, so first things first, we're going to show you how the game performs without the filter, because there is a performance hit when you do enable the filter. Please keep in mind that this is the beginning of the game, so different scenes will give you different performance, but this is what you can expect for most of the game, at least. I did lose my save data for this game, unfortunately, so I do have to replay it. So now I'm going to show you what happens before you enable the filter. What you want to do, what I recommend doing, is you make sure that you adjust your brightness correctly in game. So you just want to follow the instructions as it says. Adjust the slider until the logo is barely visible. You want to make sure that this logo is barely visible. That way you don't run into issues with detail not being shown from shadows and lighting. Adjusting this and adjusting the filter correctly can give you really good results. So you want to make sure you adjust that. You also want to disable HDR in Windows. This game doesn't have native HDR, but what it does is it supports auto HDR, which is featured in Windows 11 and Windows 10 developer mode. So yeah, you want to make sure that HDR is disabled altogether in Windows before you enable the filter. So in order to bring up the game filter, you just press Alt-Z on your keyboard, open GeForce Experience. Then you can press Alt F3 to get to the game filter, or click it there. You go to Styles, Add Filter, scroll down until you see SSRTGI. Then you can control the intensity. There's a slider for the intensity. As you can see already, there's a lot more depth in the shadows when you adjust this. So you can control the ambient occlusion, like so. You can control indirect lighting, and you have fade distance, which also increases the intensity. You can see the performance hit that you do take. We already dropped down to about 50 FPS, high 50s, about almost near 60. Just to show you what gameplay is like with the filter on. As you can see, we're getting about 50 FPS, which is it would dip down to 40 there. It really just depends on the scene, but I mean, most of the game, like I said, you will be traveling around the city, so this is about what you can expect. And yeah, we're about in the 50s or so. Again, keep in mind that this is at hyper settings, so that's kind of why it's super intensive. You're maxing the game out, plus adding screen space global illumination, so it's really intensive on the game. And mind you, this is at a preset of low. Ultra, the game's unplayable. Same with high, it's unplayable. If you could deal with 30 FPS, then I guess you can do medium, but I don't recommend it. And then at low, you're back at about 50, 60 FPS. So yeah, that's what happens. It's very intensive. I'm gonna lower all the in-game settings to ultra and high to see the difference between completely maxed out and yeah. And you don't want to enable the y-axis, because what ends up happening is ghosting weird artifacts. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would just leave this disabled. Keep in mind that this is just a game filter, so it's really up to you on how intense you want this to look. A good example is if you look up there on the roof in that certain section, if I were to adjust the intensity and adjust the ambient occlusion, you could start to see that you lose detail up here in this area. It starts to go away. So you want to like decrease this as much as you can, so that way you kind of don't lose the detail that's found up there. So now I'm going to show you what the game runs like at ultra settings. Here we are in ultra, everything on ultra. So now we'll lower the game to high, as you can see. And yeah, we're gonna have to restart the game again to take effect, so we'll do that right now. guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Let me know what games you've tried the SSRTGI filter on and if you had any success with it. A lot of games vary. Some games work, some don't. So it really just depends. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.